Hi, boys and girls. Sorry I didn't see you yesterday, but here I am today, and we're continuing our new topic of time. And remember, if you went through the video, we talked about time can be from morning to evening, morning to night. And remember on the calendar, we talked about the time, what happens at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and then 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and into the night. And then we also went through the days of the week, because that's also a way to tell time. The days of the week, we know that it's Monday. We know after Monday comes Tuesday and so forth. And the months of the year also help us with time. So all of that has something to do with time in our calendar, time and space where we are. We know that when the sun rises, then we know that it's day, right? And we know when the sun sets, we see a moon, we know it's night. So the time helps us. And one of the things in time that we're going to look at is called the hour hand, or 1 o'clock, or o'clock, okay? So we're looking at the hour hand and o'clock, as in 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, right? So let's look at our clock one more time. This is our clock. And if we look closely, this is our clock. And our clock has 2 hands. So we're going to look at the big hand. Now, we've done that on calendar before. And we know the big hand represents the minute hand, right? Right? And we know that the small hand represents the hour, okay? And we also know that when this minute hand goes all the way around our clock from 12 back to 12, we know that it's the next hour. Okay, the hour hand shows us the hour. So we know that this is 1 o'clock, because the hour hand, which is the short hand, is at the 1, and the long hand, which is at the minute hand, is at the 12. So we know that this is 1 o'clock. And what happens now when I move my clock? Of course, my minute hand doesn't move that fast. But as it moves back, what time does it come now? And you should have said 2 o'clock, correct? And then we move our hand again. And as we move our hand around, it now becomes what time? You should have said 3 o'clock, all right? And who thinks they know what time it's going to be as I move my hand around? It's now going to be 4 o'clock, okay? So our hour hand is the short hand, and our minute hand is the long hand. And anytime this long hand is on 12 and the short hand is on a number, it tells us what time it is. So that's 5 o'clock, and that's 6 o'clock. All right? So when you get your exercise in your book, you're going to look at the time. You're going to look at the short hand. What number is it on? You're going to look at the long hand. What number is it on? In order to tell the time, okay? So we know right there that that is 1 o'clock. All right? We know that that is 1 o'clock. Now, the second part of our lesson, you're going to look at half hour, which is 30 minutes. We've done that in calendar too. Half hour, 30 minutes past the hour. And the half hour is represented with the minute hand. The minute hand goes on the 6, and the 6 tells us the time. So, and this hand, do you see that that hour hand is a little bit past the 1? That's because it's moving. It's not directly on the 1, but we still know that that time is 1:30. 1:30, okay? Every half hour shows us the time. So every time you see that long hand on the 6 and the hour hand on the number or just below the number, it represents 30, half an hour, half of the hour. So now it's 2:30, okay? So tell me what time it is now. I'm going to fix it. Tell me what time it is now. Tell me if you could tell me what time this is. Who knows what time this is? You should have said 3:30. Okay, let me try another one. Tell me what time this is. Who thinks they know? It's time. If the hour hand's on 7, hour hand's on 7, Longhand's on 6. That time is 7:30. 7:30, okay? So there's two exercises we're going to do. We're going to look at the hour, which means the long is on 12, and the hour hand is on the number. So that's the hour is 1 o'clock. And then we're going to look at when the minute hand, which is the long hand, is on 6, which is represents 30. And the short hand is just between or just below the number. We know that that is 1:30. Okay? So we know that this is 2 o'clock. And if I move it to the 6, we know that the time is 2:30. Okay? We know that this is 3 o'clock. And if I move it to the 6, we know that it is 3:30. Okay? So you're going to do the exercises in your book. You're going to do page 130, Math HSP 130, and Math HSP 131. So you have 130 and 131. Do your best.